Tucker saved himself tonight in the AI arena, and Kenny went home, so it was quite the good night for Big Brother 26. Losing Lisa and Tucker back to back would have been pretty bad for this season, but Tucker lives to fight another day. Quinn was voted on the block by America. Quinn also is fighting another day in that house, which I think is good. Kenny going home was the best case scenario for the season overall. And look, I can hate Quinn, but he did not need to go tonight. I want to see Quinn maybe try and play better. I don't think he's gonna. I think his ego is too big. I think he. Let me save this. We'll get to Quinn in a second. Tucker is still probably going to be in trouble this week because of Quinn's power. And Tucker, however, does still have 3 chances to save himself after the episode and with the feeds coming back on. I'm recording this before HOH, so I don't know when that will be. I don't know when the HOH will be revealed. We'll have to talk about that tomorrow. Not that it matters anyway because of Quinn's power. But Tucker can win HOH, and that means that Quinn cannot nominate him this week. So if that's one scenario. That seems to be the scenario that a few people are pitching to are pitching to Tucker, but Tucker already realizes that anyway. Joseph and Tucker had a moment after the feeds came back on. You know, Joseph still trying to play that he's BFFs with Tucker, even though he was ready to vote him out this week. Sometimes I feel like Joseph is just there. But other times I feel like he could maybe be quite the surprise later in the season. You know, similar to Dan in Big Brother 10. Although Dan was in trouble right off the bat, and he kind of had a fight from the bottom. So Joseph right now is just kind of there. So I hope I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe later in the season he will be able to turn it around. But we'll see if that actually transpires. But he was giving Tucker a pep talk that Tucker needs to kind of fade into the background. And Tucker agrees and says he needs to win HOH first, so he's safe this week. So I'm glad Tucker realizes that he can win HOH and be safe this week because he is such a volatile player. Do I think he could actually fit into the background, though? I don't. I think he is such a volatile player, which is why I think he's still needed around for now. Look, if he would have gone home tonight, it would have been his fault. As I said on Monday's video when I recorded it after the veto meeting, Tucker screwed Tucker. Everybody that has been in trouble this season in some capacity has screwed themselves. Angela, Lisa, Quinn himself giving away his power to everyone, just stupid. So now he has to get the blood on his hands. Last night we had some Tucker, Rubina, Showmance, Sparks. Don't know how I feel about it. Because, I'm not a big fan of Showmances. Very rarely have I liked Showmances. Basically, just Ika and Dimitri on Big Brother Canada 5 was the only Showmance I ever actually rooted for. There's been a couple others that I liked. I don't hate this Showmance. Compared to the last 2 seasons, it's quite a notch up. We had Kyle and Alyssa. That was cringe because Kyle was acting like such an incel with Alyssa, and she was a lot. It was not good, the floaty sex, disgusting. Last season, Corey and America, some of the worst kissing in television history, because that was Corey's first kissing. And he was eating his boogers before they were kissing, just awkward and disgusting. So Tucker and Rubina, both older, I think, actually have sexual chemistry compared to the last 2 seasons. There was Blue and Jared last season as well. They were a whole nothing sandwich as well. So I do like, if we're going to talk about a Showmance, Tucker and Rubina at least have real chemistry. Them kind of teasing each other, not kissing last night, but wanting it. It's typical of something I would root for in another show. If this was Love Island, sure, I would probably be more for it. But right now, I don't want it to take over the feeds. So I hope they continue to hold back because it will grow them as a target anyway. So they're being smart about it. And the tension, if that tension keeps rising, I might come around to them because I like a slow burn. If anybody watched any of my Love Island videos this season. The slow burn couple that ended up winning was my favorite because it was a slow burn and it was just real genuine feelings and chemistry building up over time. So yeah, let's circle back to Quinn now because his speech was as cringe as Kyle and Alyssa's floaty sex to me. That's how cringe I felt his speech was. His obsession with being Corey and Corey in America is weird. It's weird to see somebody on the show still being such a stan of a past player. Because it's like, you're on the show now, so why are you doing this? I can only relate this to like pro wrestling, and stay with me here because this could get long. In pro wrestling, there's wrestling marks. The marks are people, because wrestling, it's not real. But the marks kind of still feel as real, because something happens that, makes them mad, makes them sad. They feel all these emotions. And when wrestling's good, you're supposed to feel some emotions. But it's not real. But the biggest thing with wrestling marks, and once again, stay with me because I am going to tie this back to Quinn. The biggest thing with wrestling marks is that the thing that actually makes wrestling popular is characters and storylines. That's why wrestling's popular again right now, is because of good storylines and characters. But the wrestling marks want good wrestling in the ring, and they want to rate the matches out of 5. And if it's a good match, it deserves 5-star ratings. And if a character's good, they don't care if their wrestling's bad because screw the character. They just want good wrestling. And that has made it into the ring. There are wrestlers now that don't care about making money, don't care about becoming popular, don't care about the fame. They care about some nerds on the internet rating their matches 5 stars. That's who Quinn comes off to me. You're in the game now. Why are you still trying to be Corey from last season? Because, spoiler alert, Corey lost the game. But Quinn's going around acting like he's Corey, wanting to be Corey, still trying to live vicariously through Corey. But Quinn, you're on the game. What are you doing? You're in the game. Just bad. So yeah, that was cringe, and I'm hoping Quinn learns from America voting him on the block that, hey, you're playing like shit, but I don't see it happening. His ego's too big, and he thinks he knows Big Brother because he listened to Corey on podcasts, and he's obsessed with podcasts. Well, I hope one day Quinn just comes across one of these videos so that he can know you suck. Brooklyn. Let's talk about Brooklyn. I see people talking about Brooklyn like she's just great player. I don't see it. I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Brooklyn's doing nothing different than most of these players. It's a very passive game. It's not even floater. It's just a coaster. After the episode, we had Tucker and T-Core and Chemo, Brooklyn, Rubina make a little 5-person alliance. Yes, another alliance has been made. Another coronavirus variant has been made in that house with all these variants of alliances going on in the house. But, I see Chemo and T-Core, they have good talks sometimes. T-Core's good at studying people. She's talking about the Mafia games they've been playing these past couple of nights and learning other players' tells when they're lying. Good on T-Core. I think T-Core and Chemo, sometimes they get it right, talking about what they should and shouldn't do. Should they bring this information to Chelsea? They don't want to do it yet. But I fear Brooklyn probably already did. So I think what annoyed me most about Brooklyn is on the episode talking about Quinn's power and how it could still be used to the Alliance's benefit. Okay, sure. But nobody in that alliance is concerned that Quinn told 2 people outside of that alliance the power before them. If the Pentagon is just so strong, why did Quinn only tell Chemo and Angela, who aren't in the Pentagon? Make it make sense. Brooklyn doesn't make any sense to me. I don't see it. Yeah, she has a social game. I'm not going to take that away from her. I mean, we'll see how long it lasts because I still judge her for her friendship on the outside with the biggest racist in Big Brother history. There's still that. And But in the game right now, she has a calming effect on some people, I feel like, which helps her social game. She's playing the mother role well enough with her social game. But her maneuvering, she had an opportunity to find herself being able to play people with this information, with a new alliance with Tucker. And instead, is already wanting to rat it out to Chelsea. I just don't get it. Why do so many people in these games nowadays just yap? Just yap all their information to people. It's shit gameplay. But Brooklyn's another yapper, and I don't find that good gameplay. I'm sorry. And that alliance as a whole is just dumb because almost everybody outside of the core, the Pentagon's the core of the collective. The collective, once again, as a reminder, is Chelsea, Cam, Cedric, Brooklyn, Quinn. But Quinn's already ratted out the Pentagon because he's a yapper. He ratted it out to Chemo, T-Core, Joseph, who are also in the collective. And yet somehow that fake alliance, the collective, that Joseph, I guess, manifested becoming a real alliance, is still wanting to be loyal. I don't get it. I mean, I'm hoping that T-Core and Chemo see that. They talk about it occasionally. And they're talking about the moves they need to make. But I still need to see them actually make the moves. They could talk about it till they're blue in the face, but until they actually make some moves and do something about it, I can't be impressed with any of this gameplay. Anyway, that's all for tonight. We'll see who wins the HOH. It doesn't really matter unless it's Tucker. One thing I don't like is that nobody is strategizing about, hey, maybe we should just let Tucker win the HOH. I have not seen enough about that. Yeah, it's smart that some people want Tucker to be the HOH to save Tucker, including Tucker himself. But why is nobody wanting Quinn to win the HOH so that he can't be HOH 2 weeks in a row? That's the kind of like the bad gameplay that goes on in the show these days that I don't understand. Nobody thinks about this. Try and make Quinn the HOH so he can't be HOH 2 weeks in a row. That was already terrible last season. I don't know. We'll see if the gameplay gets better, but I don't have hope.